So yes, I've chosen APC because I believe in it. I believe in the leadership of APC, and I believe that is the party that will take us to promised land. Then the second leg of that question is, why run at all? Why are you running? And for me, it's more of a question of conscience. Because one of the things I've repeated often is that some of us that went to school in the 60s, we saw a Nigeria that was rubbing shoulders with every other country on the planet. A country that had great promise for the future. And indeed, that future came, and we were the direct beneficiaries. In our primary schools, we didn't pay anything. I went to secondary school where I was paid even transport money to go back home during holidays. I had all my school uniforms, everything was given to me. I was in the university where my clothes were washed for me on a weekly basis. So we had everything on silver spoon. It was because things were good.
So are you saying we don't have that now?
Of course we don't. In my primary school days, and I say this often, whenever these interviews come, I tell people that, look, in my primary school days, I come from a place called Shonga in Kwara State. Next to the emir then, in recognition, was the headmaster. Everyone, everybody, and I mean it, gave due respect to the headmaster. I cannot remember now, as I sit here, who the richest man was in my primary school days in my town. But vividly, I can count them with their names and where they came from. All the headmasters, they were that important. Tell me today, a professor that is not rich, where is his place in society? The respect is not there.
So what has gone wrong in all of this?
Leadership. See, our fathers, who we thought were semi-illiterates, remember, those that were at the helms of affairs then, had very little education, comparatively. If you compare that to what we have now, the Sardauna of Sokoto, who was the head of the northern government then, had only a grade 2 certificate. Indeed, the Prime Minister of Nigeria was a grade 2 certificate guy. But they were able to plan, in spite of their limited education, for all of us. We became beneficiaries. They could think. They could say, okay, so people are coming out from primary school, the secondary school should be ready, those are coming from university, the work places should be ready. Look, when I left the university, before I sat for my final exams, I had 9 jobs. 9, they were waiting for me. And it was for me to choose. Compare that to now. See, these are our own children. Our fathers, like I said, in spite of their inadequate qualification in terms of Western education, they were able to plan and everything went well.
Let me come in now.
Yes.
You said earlier that you believe in the leadership qualities of President Muhammadu Buhari. Before I narrow it down to Kwara State, which is your own constituency,
Yes.
well, some people or some political pundits would say that the president has not done enough to tackle the issue of insecurity. The APC came into power on 3 mandates, which is to tackle insecurity, to fight against all forms of corruption in the country, and to revamp the economy. Well, how will you give your own assessment if what you are saying today seems to be the reversal of the case?
Listen, see. Again, listen to this. If we continue to do the things the way they were done, that has almost led us into the ditch, we'll continue to go till one day we find ourselves right there in the ditch. What is needed in this country today? Yes, security is very important, no doubt about that. Economy is also very important, no doubt about that. And in his own way, I can tell you, look, this, take economy for example, which I think actually is also very important. He came in and we went into recession. Recessions are not just, it's not something that just happens. It is something that is built over time. And when you enter recession, it takes good and calculative leadership to bring out of it. This man came before he could even sit as the president. Wow, we're in recession. And trust the PDP. He was the one they were all blaming, forgetting that the 16 years of their being at the helm of affairs, their own being the driver's seat, is they that drove us right into that recession. This man only came and inherited it.
Will Senator Bukola Saraki factor come to play in who becomes the next governor of that state? If you remember that, he's still the president of the Senate, the third man
anything. In
the country.
It has no meaning to me. President of Senate or president, I think the only president I know is the president of Nigeria. The president of the Senate, he's there. I'm not a member of the Senate, and I think the effect should just be within the hollow chambers. Why is anybody talking about the president? If he's not going to be the first president of the Senate, there have been so many others. And why is it that in their own states people don't ask this kind of question? He's not the first, not the second, not the third. So what is so peculiar about him that everybody is saying, okay, it's going to affect what's happening?
So are you saying his influence will not affect who becomes the governor, the next governor of that state?
Never. No.
You sound so confident.
Yeah, very. And let me tell you this. Since that's I wanted to answer the first question, but since you are dwelling on this, I said it all over. In fact, a lot of people, some people tell you the Lion of Kwara State. It's an insult on the rest of us with our intelligence, with our own sophistication, that you come and consign all of us into the dustbin and say, look, there's a lion. And I joke with people, I tell them, no, there is no such thing like lion. If anybody calls himself a lion, lions don't kill each other. Take him to the zoo and let's see if fellow lions will not devour him.